welcome and welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, go ahead and hit that subscribe. So today I'm just going to go through how I turned these square nails into a nice ballerina shape. So all I'm going to be doing in this video is taking off the polish and reshaping these nails with just a slight fill. I've only actually had these nails on about a week or so they don't really even need a fill, but as I'm in here, I'm just going to go back, push the cuticle back and give it a slight fill so they are good for weeks to come. So here I'm just going to start by whipping through, and I do have my drill pretty fast. I have it on about 12, and the reason I wanted it on such a high speed is because I literally just want to take off this polish. So I'm just using a band. I feel like the bands do work a little bit better just for polish. I really don't want to take any of the actual gel product off, at least too much of it. Because like I said, guys, I really just want to take this polish off, so a good polish change, and I kind of want to get rid of the square. I'm just not feeling the square, but that is one of my harder shapes to do, so I've just been kind of doing it on myself just to get the bit more practice on it. So here, guys, I'm just going along the sides a little bit because I want to kind of taper them in a smidge or so. And the bands that I'm using are the Melody Susie brand bands. I got them from Amazon. I believe this is a 120 grit. So here I'm just going to use my hand file and go in. I want to keep my hand file pretty straight when I'm going in on the curves because I want to have that nice straight tapered line in to make it into the ballerina shape that you get. So I'm doing my best to kind of just not go into too much, but also want it enough so that way I get that curvature that you have with the ballerina. And I do want to say with this file that I'm using a 100 grit file. I usually use the metal files, but in all honesty, I think this is just the file that I had right there on hand, so I just grabbed it. It works just as good. I believe this is a McCart file. I do like them as well, but like I said, I do like the interchangeable one, so I usually use my metal one. So here's, you see that I'm showing you that I really want to keep from the side of my finger going in, keeping my file as straight as I possibly can. This is why the metal bands are a little bit easier, because they don't bend. So as you see, my apex is still there. This to me is still a little thick, so I can take off some of that bulk. You see right there, I'm going to want to take off some of the bulk on the side. I kind of point as I go to kind of show you guys. I'm doing this as a voiceover now, so I guess as I'm voicing over it, it's kind of a little bit harder to kind of explain. But I knew if I did it in the video, there would be a very, very long video, because in total to do both of my hands, it still took me almost 2 hours to fully change the shape in that and a fill. So my speed is not really there yet, but I'm okay with that in time. I do want to come and say a small disclaimer. This fingernail, when I originally did this set, the square set, the Madame Glam set, I cut that short from jump and I just never went in. I should have took it off, in all honesty, and then put a new nail on, but I didn't. So this one is shorter than all my other nails, but it's fine. She's staying. So when I file on the sides of my nails and I'm changing my shape, you're going to get that almost squareness to the nail. I don't want that. I want an ovaled edge. So how I do that is I like to use the file and go in one motion and then do like kind of like a motion of your moving your wrist back and forth, but you're lifting your file so you're not going back and forth with your file. You just want to go in a one direction motion. I find that works best for me because once you use your file and you're going back and forth in both directions, you're getting friction from both directions, and it's easy to overfile at that point, and then you're just going to have to go back in, right? So I find when doing the sidewalls, to me, it is easier just to do in a one motion, just to get that curvature, to get that ovalness of the nail. So here, when I'm going to go around my cuticle, I'm being sure to have my file at a slant. I do want it tilted kind of back, facing in towards my cuticle, so that way I'm not actually going over my apex. I'm not filing my apex at all. With this nail, as you see there, I didn't touch the apex going all the way around my cuticle, and that is because the way that I have my file tilted. So if you tilt it up, you will be sure not to touch your apex, because you don't want to continuously file off your apex. If you feel that it needs a little, by all means go in and give her a little trim down. But when you're filing the rest of the nail and shaping it, you really want to leave that apex kind of alone, leave it for the last, and then you can see if it needs to come down a little bit or if you need to add some. But I find leaving it for the last, you will actually get a better shape out of it because you want that structure, right? You don't want to take away the structure and have to always keep going back. So kind of leave the apex for the last. At least I do. I find it helps me know where to have my apex and where to build it, and just to kind of get that overall nail structure. Again guys, going in with my sidewall here, I want to get the structure and shape of my nail. So I'm keeping my file as straight as possible. As you see, it's pretty squared right there. So I'm gonna go around, like I said, in a one direction. I do it fast, so it kind of looks like I'm going back and forth with my file, but I'm not. I'm actually going in one direction, and that way I have way more control over where I'm filing, how much I'm filing off, and you get that just the curvature of the nail, right? We don't want it to be flat right there. We want it like to oval. We want it to be a nice shape and flow. So now I'm just going to go in, and like I said, I didn't overly need it, but as I'm here, I might as well push back these cuticles, clean that up, and just give it a slight fill. So I'm going to go in and clean around my cuticle with my cuticle bit. I love this little stand. I got it from Shein. It works great, guys, when I'm actually doing my nails because I just put my bits on it and I know that they're dirty and it's easy for me to grab and interchange them when needed. So here, guys, I am just going to go in. This is one of the Wilson bits. It is a cuticle bit. So I just go in and just go around my cuticle just to clean up any of that dead cuticle, any skin on my nail left there, and then any like roughness or anything like that. When I do it, I always try to hold back my finger, but I'm going to try to use this stand because I do find this stand works really well when I'm doing my own nails. But as you see, as I pull my hand up, I actually use my thumb to pull back my finger skin, so that way I can get in there as far as I need to. Remember, you don't want to go too far. You don't want to push in your bits too far back there. So just hold back your skin, and then if you see the nail, then you can kind of take that off. These bits are really, really good. I have it on a pretty low speed. I think I only have it on 4 or 5 here. That's usually what I work in when going around my cuticle. You don't want to go too fast, so you do want to take your time because you don't want to damage anything, right? As you see, guys, here, I do go over my skin with this bit. Because I have it on such a low speed, it is not a coarse bit whatsoever. It is for your cuticle area. You can go over your nail cuticle on the nail that's still living tissue. Like I said, just go slow. Don't hold it in one place by any means. And guys, if you're not comfortable, do not do this. This is something you should definitely practice first. Be cautious when using these bits. You can hurt yourself. So you don't have to even use one of these bits. You can push back your cuticle, go back in with your hand file or even a small buffer, and then just get in there and lift up and get off any of that dead cells that you can, even by hand. You do not need a file to do that. Guys, I just go in with a little bit of alcohol on my brush just to clean off any of this dust, and then I'm going to go in with this needle bit. I like to use these bits for underneath my nails. Not quite sure if it's probably the best bit or not. I find it works great for me. I will say again, guys, use with caution. This will stab you. Do not push it into your nail. You just want it to get underneath and get any of the extra dirt or any like the skin or whatever's going on under there, right? It's just to give it a good little clean. Like I said, guys, please use with caution. You can stab yourself very, very easily with these. I have done it and it hurts. And because of where it is, it takes a while for that to heal. So it's not a nice pain. So please, please use with caution. But if not, guys, just use a scrubber, get in there with some alcohol and stuff and just disinfect that part of the nail. And you're perfectly fine that way as well. I'm going to go back in here with my sanding band. And as you see, I don't know if you guys do know, it's just a tip. If you do or don't, when you use your sanding band and it looks like, okay, now it's getting dull, we need to switch out the band, take your band off and flip it around. The edge of that band, the bottom side, is like a brand new band. So don't throw it out. Always use both sides of your band. So just take off the band, flip it around, and use the other side. And you'll still get a good little bit out of that. Like I said, it's basically like a brand new band. And then after you use both sides, then I recommend putting a new band on and going on and so forth. Because I used a band for the majority of this, actually I used a band pretty much for all of this besides my cuticle cleanup. So I ran through about 3 bands to do my nails on this. Like I said, guys, I use at a very high speed when I was taking off the polish because I just really wanted to get off the polish. So that kind of ate through the bands too. And I don't know if these are the best bands or not. I have heard great things about the zebra bands. Maybe I should give them a try. I don't know if they would last longer or not. Or if 3 bands is pretty decent considering I put them through quite a bit of work. So now I'm just going to go back through and go around my cuticle, do all that, and that is perfectly good and clean. And then I'm going to go and do my right hand. So guys, I whipped off all the polish on my right hand and slightly changed the shape of them as well now, so they are matching to my left hand. I did want to show you a little bit of the same cuticle prep and stuff on my right hand, and because it is a little different for me, my middle finger, when I was younger, I got slammed in a door, so my nail never grew back the same. So that one always needs a little special care, and that's the finger that I'm working on now. So I have to make sure that I go in a little bit differently, and that one to me always needs like a fill first or something like that, just because it kind of grows up and out instead of just out as the nail grows. I don't know. She's my little special finger. But yeah, so I go in with her and then I go around, do all my cuticle guys, look at them, make sure that they all look at least like sisters. Do you know what I mean? They don't have to be twins, but as long as they're sister and up, we're okay there. And just on another note, I do want to say, like, if it's, I don't know if it's just me, guys, let me know in the comments. My hardest nails to do is my pinky and my ring finger. I don't know why. I just feel like they're harder for me to file, to get to, or what it is. But I find those little buggers are like my difficult fingers on both hands. It doesn't even matter. I'm pretty ambidextrous, I think, besides writing. But yeah, those are just the hardest fingers to shape for me. I don't know why. I go in and clean off my nails, make sure that there is no dust on them, because I'm just going to go in and give a slight fill. So I actually just go in and I take my liquid that I'm using, my gel wipe, and put it on my brush and just give a good little brush around my cuticles and all that just with that liquid. It kind of helps to hydrate it as well. I go in with a dehydrator, but I do find it just gets any extra dust off. That's just me, so I don't know. That's a little tip there for you. And in about 2 seconds, you're going to see me cry a little on the inside. So I go in with my dehydrator and then I put my protein bond on that I put on every set I do. It is amazing. And it spilled. That's where I wanted to cry. My protein bond literally spilled. I was like, no. Yeah, I had a whole moment there. It's okay. It happens. Accidents happen. But by golly, that was an expensive accident. All right, we're moving on. But on another note, though, one good thing is that I have these little towels that I put over my duster so that it protect my duster, and that is why I do it. So I do go in with a base. I'm just going to use the Young Nails base. I actually really love their base, and I love a base that's in a pot. And I think that's why one of the bigger reasons I go for that base. I just prefer a base pot, especially when I'm using gel. I feel like my brush is out, I can get in there a little bit nicer, and kind of like you want to kind of almost scrub it in there a little bit, you know what I mean? So I do prefer a base in a pot, and I also really do like the Young Nails products, so I just went for the Young Nail base. And then I'm going to go in with the same color that I have on, which was cinnamon. So I just went in and filled with the same cinnamon color, Venalisa, which I'm still on the fence about that color on my complexion. I don't know, like I like it, but then I'm like, do I like it? But you know what my problem is? I've never given it its full chance and its full potential, because I've never just left it alone with a nice top coat. I've always put something over her, so I can't really judge it yet. So I'm just going to go in and do a slight fill. Like I said, none of my nails overly needed it too much. The only nail that would really need a fill in my case now, even at a week or week and a half time, would be like my little special nail there, just because of the way that that one grows out. So guys, I do go in, I push it back all the way into my cuticle area. And like I said, because it's just a slight fill, my apex, all that, I still have that pretty good. So this is not really anything structure that I have to do. It's just kind of seal her up again. Guys, just as a little side tip, when I use gel, I always take a orange wood stick, or really anything you have, just go around your cuticle area and sidewalls just to get any gel that might have seeped through. Sometimes we don't even realize it, and it just makes it for just a better overall application, and it will help your nails stay on longer. Okay, so yeah, this is basically just how I apply my gel. I've showed it in a few other videos, but if you guys want something a little bit more in depth on a practice finger, where I can show a little bit more on how I apply gel, or if you guys have any tips or tricks for me for applying gel, if you notice there's something that maybe I could do differently, please let me know in the comments below. There we are, guys. We're just going to fully cure them, give them a wipe off, and then I go in and I do that to my right hand as well. I didn't film it. I do it exactly the same way. Well, technically I did film it. I just edited it out because this video was very, very long. So I'm just going to go in, and there's not much filing we have to do now because we already did the shape. We pre-shaped them. All we had to do is just go in and give it a slight fill, and I tried my best to keep my fill as neat as possible. So all I really had to do is just go in any little areas, give it a quick file, and then just buff them out. We do want to keep that rough texture back on them. And then at the end, I do make a completely separate video, which you guys will probably, yeah, I think you guys have already seen that one. I've already put it out, which I do my St. Patrick's Day nails. So we're not going to do anything with these nails. We're just leaving them looking the way that they look at the end. So that is it, guys. Really, like I said, I just go in and give them all just another little shape if I need to figure if anything's off or this or that. Like I said, I'm still really working on my shaping, but I do like the way they came out, and I do prefer a ballerina or a stiletto. I would say a stiletto is probably my favorite, but depending on my length, I really like the shape that I do often, which you guys usually see on me. I call it a stillamen because it's like a mix of a stiletto and almond. I find it when I do a stiletto that's really short, but then it's too long really to look like an almond. So I kind of just call it a stillamen, and that's usually the shape that I have on my nails or you guys usually see me with. So that's when I'm doing like more of a longer medium length. To me, these are very short. I call these short nails. So anyways, you guys didn't come here for all that little ramble. So I just go in, like I said, guys, and just give these all a quick little buff. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Thank you so much. If you haven't, make sure you guys hit that subscribe and follow me on all my social media, guys. Have a great day. Bye.